This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by the North Law Firm. For car accidents and negligent security cases, call Joe at 239-337-1191. By Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers, where you can report crimes and get paid with nobody knowing your identity. Call 1-800-780-TIPS. By Solomon's Air Conditioning Incorporated. No matter what the weather condition is outside, have it your way inside. 239-693-1569. And by Lee Health. Yes, that's the sax man. We're a little summertime and the living is easy. Andy Lutkoff is here. We're so thrilled to get him back here in the studio. We're going to talk to this certified health and life coach, business, Andy Lutkoff. Also on the show, we get to talk to the beautiful songbird, the local sensation, Gayla James, singer and songwriter. We get to see the CD, hear about her CD, Spiritual Intimacy. Also get to see her music video, dropping it right here on Lee Pitts Live on Fox 4. Keep it locked. We'll be back with some musical guests and education. Lee Pitts Live. Welcome back. We're here at Sidney and Barn Davis Arts Center, downtown Fort Myers. The accommodations have just been outstanding. Big shout out to Jim and Melissa and all the people here at Sidney and Barn Davis who just hosting us here for Lee Pitts Live on Fox 4. That's the incomparable sound of my good friend Andy Lutkoff. His first time on our television show was back in around 1995. And he's come back to grace our set and got some inspiring information to give us. Enjoy a little bit of his great saxophone. The first time I met him, he was playing the sax, and he's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Pick up that microphone, Andy.
All right. Let me protect the reed here a second. Okay. Hey, Bubba.
Man, did you bring back memories? You still humming away, huh?
I love it, man. I just can't stay away from it.
Tell us, how did you first get started with the saxophone?
Well, my mother, who was actually a concert pianist, put it in my hands when I was about fifth grade.
Really?
And I studied it until I was about 15 years old. I did pretty well with it, but then I really got more into sports and didn't really have any direction with the music, so I put it down for 10 years.
Right.
Went off and did my sports and went to college and all that, but then later on I came back to it.
Well, what sport did you play?
Well, in high school, it's football. As little as I am,
Right.
Still played
Cornerback,
football.
running back?
Actually,
wide receiver?
you'd never guess that I played defensive end, middle guard, and fullback.
Really?
Three of the guys, usually bigger guys, but
Right.
with some technique and the attitude. I had the attitude. So,
Go ahead.
And then lacrosse in college, and I played golf also. I played some competitive golf.
That's why you still look so
things,
good.
you know.
Well, man, first of all, we need to let people know, some people don't believe Lee Pitts Live has been around this long. You were on my show back in the early 90s, and you used to be a staple. I first met you out there playing at the Channel Mark. And I said, this guy is nice and soulful with that saxophone, and we've been friends ever since.
That's right.
And then we reconnected on social media, and I said, hey, I got to get Andy back on this show. And then now we found out that you're still playing the sax, but you got a lot of interesting things going on as far as helping people to realize their full potential. Would you say that's a good way to describe it?
Yeah, it is. I've been doing that for a long time now. I'd say for the better part of 20 years. I mean, my background was actually psychology, so I always had that kind of mindset, in terms of helping people. But I got into it most in the real estate business when I was building my real estate company, and I spent most of my time coaching people in that business to become successful, and which basically is a personal development journey. It's just not all about business techniques. It's about evolving as a person, challenging ourselves to reach our goals and all of the elements that go into that.
How would you describe the success that you have had and are having? And do you have a story you can tell me, an interesting story about a person that you kind of coached along the way?
Well, I coached. We had great success as a company. I built it from 5 people to 200 in 2 years, and we were actually ranked nationally as one of the top 3 offices in the country. I had a couple of people in the office who, when they were first or second year in the business, were earning close to about $1 million a year. So, it was very gratifying to see that kind of stuff. Now, I didn't do their business. I helped them along the way. We had classes, we had coaching sessions, and I had a couple really talented people. But
over the years, you've just pretty much stayed in Southwest Florida. Did you ever leave and come back?
Nope, been here the whole time. I first was in the golf business for 10 years, and then tried a couple other things, and then ended up in the real estate business, and been in that actually ever since. I'm retired from that part of it right now. Sold the company several years ago. Yeah.
But in general, Southwest Florida is still a great place to live and grow and be happy.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else
in the world
than Southwest Florida. I love it here, man. A lot of people come down here to retire, and I figured out a long time ago, I'm not waiting. I'm coming down to where it feels good all year long. I've always been a sunshine junkie.
Now, along the way, you're able to help people as well, health-wise, with juicing. How would you describe it?
Well, it's not really juicing. About 8 years ago, I came across a company in the wellness industry that had a product that was basically dehydrated fruits and vegetables put into a vegan capsule. And the thing that stands out about this and why I got involved is because it wasn't a vitamin, it was actually food, whole food. It was the actual fruits and vegetables themselves with nothing added into it. But the main thing is that they have now about 40 peer-reviewed published studies in major science journals showing how well it works on our immune systems, our cardiovascular system, decreases inflammation in the body, et cetera, et cetera. So I got into it because really I was looking at it to help myself. I started having some health issues, even though I had been an athlete. And so I was looking at ways to create some better health within myself. And there's good part of that, and then there's the unfortunate part of that. The good part is I stayed healthy. Actually, I haven't been sick in about 8 years, other than my kidneys failed me about 3 years ago. That came out of nowhere, and it ended up being either a genetically passed on thing or just a mutation that I had polycystic kidney disease. I ended up needing a kidney transplant, and so that was about 3 years ago. And I ended up getting a living donor, which is its own story in terms of how I found that living donor. I was extremely fortunate. But when I got to have my operation, my doctors looked at me and said, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're an 11 in terms of how healthy you are for somebody who's about to go through a kidney transplant. And since then, that was 7 months ago. I got a kidney.
What did you attribute to your health?
Well, a lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, the right kind of nutrition, the right kind of mindset, and these are all things that I today help coach people about. I'm a lifestyle, I guess, a health and nutrition coach. I'm not a nutritionist, but I am a certified health coach, and so I help people to to discover how to best take care of themselves. And I'm also a business coach. I help people who are aspiring to increase their financial well-being. I help them with that as well through the business that I have.
How does it make you feel to know that you are able to bring your talent to help somebody to improve their station in life?
There's nothing more rewarding. There's absolutely nothing more rewarding. And I consider myself, right now, I have my pre-transplant life and my post-transplant life. And, pre-transplant, until you get sick, you take a lot of things for granted, and then afterwards you kind of rethink a lot of things now. And so I think for me, it's a big mission for me now to help people with their health and to stay healthy, and especially with people who may be having some health issues, people who are on dialysis, who are looking at a kidney transplant, people who are post-kidney transplant, how they stay healthy to keep that kidney healthy for 20 years or 30 years. And so I think that's my current mission is really revolving around helping people to be healthy, and from a health standpoint and also a financial standpoint, if that's also something that they aspire to do.
Right. So let's go with the health piece for an example. Let's say somebody is watching this right now and they want to tap into your services. What can they expect to happen? You do sort of like an assessment first, and then you start moving them to depend on what they need.
Yes, absolutely. It's just an easy
something.
Conversation we would have, and I would just say, with you, if we were having that conversation,
Okay.
I'd want to know, what kind of habits do you have in terms of
Junk food.
Yeah, right. What are you eating?
On the computer too
much. How are you
much.
exercising, and how are you sleeping, and how much water you drink? There's some basic things I'd want to find out, and to help you on your journey. It's a journey. It's not a quick fix thing. It's a lifestyle change.
And how much does that cost? How do people? What's the cost to tap into your? It's on a case by case.
Yeah, it's a case by case thing, and really, I try. Right now, to be honest with you, I'm not even charging for that part of it. I haven't. The other side of the business supports me very well. I'm fortunate that I still have a nice income coming in from the real estate work that I did all along. So I'm really not in any financial need. So that allows me to help people without putting a lot of financial pressure on it. And so, there isn't that push as far as...
Who's your typical client in that area? Would
Really,
it be a young person, older person,
anyone,
somebody who's experienced some trauma in their lives? Go ahead.
Could be any. I say anyone who eats. Literally anyone who eats.
Give me some tips right now, like some basic tips that a person, as far as eating is concerned, that you would say, just to get started, you need to do this. This is for
eat more fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables should be the cornerstone of our diets. It's proven by multiple studies for years that eating more fruits and vegetables will reduce inflammation and help reduce inflammation in your body. It'll shore up your immune system, your cardiovascular system, really everything in your body. So eat more fruits and vegetables. We should be having between 7 and 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Not many of us do.
Nope.
But I can help show people how to get a simple way to get more fruits and vegetables in their body on a daily basis. That's part of what I do.
Right. Would that be the raw fruit, or would that be also through capsules? I think you had mentioned some capsules.
Yes, it's a combination of diet and the supplement. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned early on about, I think it was 3 years ago, that you had a kidney transplant.
Yes, correct. I had the transplant 7 months ago. I found out about it 3 years ago, but in October, actually on Halloween of 2019, I had a kidney transplant. So that's 7 months ago.
What were the symptoms to let you know that you were having some?
Well, it first showed up in my blood work. Well, I was having a regular physical with my doctor, and he noticed my creatinine, which is an indicator of your kidney health, started creeping up. And that was when we started paying attention to it, and I went and got an MRI, discovered that I had cysts on my kidney, and a nephrologist looked at it and said, well, you have polycystic kidney disease, which means multiple cysts on my kidneys. And, based on what he saw, he said, you're going to need a kidney transplant. And then they wanted to put me on dialysis relatively soon after, about 2 years before I had the transplant. They wanted to put me on dialysis, and I refused it. And because
Good decision.
Well, it was a great decision because I never needed it right up to the day I had my transplant. It was because of my lifestyle habits and my diet, exercise, sleep, water, all the things that I coach people to do kept me healthy enough not to have to do the dialysis.
And it sounds like within that whole structure of your lifestyle, diet and all these other things, it still also has a lot to do with how you think mentally, how you see yourself. It's a mental.
No question.
Go ahead and
no question about it.
That.
Well, I always say too, and as part of my coaching, which the greatest part of my coaching is not about. Well, I'll say what it is about. It's about personal development. It's about us recognizing and moving past what I call the myth understandings we have about ourselves. And that's about changing our mind. We as humans have a singular ability to be able to choose our thoughts. That's what makes us human. Mm-hmm. So we can choose to think differently if we want to. And we like to say, as we think is as we behave. As we think, as we become. So we become what we think about. So if we want to change our behaviors and do things in a better way, first we have to change our thinking.
And I think you mentioned off camera that you jog every day, you walk.
Well, I mix it up. I alternate between walking, jogging, running. I may do that on the same 3-mile thing. I'll walk, I'll jog, and I'll run. So it's an interval training. The next day, not on a treadmill. I like to go outside as long as I can. If it's bad weather, I might go inside. But swimming is something, and I know this is dear to your heart. I have been a master swimmer for 20 years and have competed in lots of pool meets and also 5K open water swims in the ocean. So I love to swim. That's my thing.
That's the ultimate exercise.
Ultimate exercise.
And I haven't been able to. You'll be happy to know that I had a good regimen going on. I was swimming, close to every other day, maybe a half a mile. People don't know how that's a pretty serious swimming. And sometimes I get up to a mile. But my point was, when the pandemic came in, LA Fitnesses closed down and got me out of my routine.
Right.
So when I go back, I got to work my way back
I
up.
hear you, brother. I just finally got back in the pool last week.
Yeah.
And I swim at the Fleischman Aquatic Center.
I see.
Yeah.
Is that about a 25-meter pool?
Yeah.
So people getting to hear me talk. So I haven't talked swimming on television in so long. And good to be talking to a fellow swimmer. Now, when you and I met, say, 25 years ago, were you a swimmer then?
I got into it in about, 90, I'm going to say about 98, I started getting into it. Yeah.
So you swim and crawl or breast?
Well, crawl and breaststroke are my two best. Actually, I started out doing pool meets, and I placed best on breaststroke.
Okay.
Actually.
I love the breast.
And but then I started doing the open water swims, which was freestyle.
Yeah. That doesn't play around though.
Yeah.
That freestyle doesn't play around.
Yeah.
Okay. So I alternate. I do about a 50-meter breast, then I come back with 50 crawl, 50 breast. That's what I'm doing these days. Just alternate.
That's great. It's a great way to do it.
And I'll tell people it's almost like Pilates and yoga and meditation.
All that.
Rolled in. That water, isn't it? It's
rolled in,
and when you come out, you're so relaxed, nothing on your joints. I've gone off.
There's nothing like it, baby.
First time I got a chance to talk swimming in a long time with a fellow swimmer.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the kidney transplant that you talked about. It seems that you're doing remarkably well now since your kidney transplant. That had a lot to do with your health and your lifestyle. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah, I absolutely do. I have had 0 complications. My blood work is perfect. As a matter of fact, I just had a doctor visit with my general doctor that I've been going to for over 20 years. He was remarkably thrilled. He said, even though I'm taking immunosuppressant drugs, my immune system is as strong as anybody's. I haven't had, even since my transplant, I haven't even had as much as a cold. Mm-hmm. And I'm I'm just, knock on wood, whatever you got, man, I'm doing great.
Do you try to do more natural? You try to do things naturally in terms of your vitamins and things of that nature?
Well, yeah, well, whole food is the answer for me. I mean, there's a few vitamins I take, but mostly whole food nutrition in terms of what I eat, and the supplements that I take are whole food. I don't take a lot of synthetic. I don't believe in a lot of synthetic. There's some things you have to take that you can't get necessarily otherwise, but whole food is where it's at.
Now, people saw you when you came on the show. You were playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
Is that's something that's always a part of your life, and is that also a great therapy for you, and just to be in general, a person in general, to have a hobby, some things that they love doing is always great as well as a life coach?
Yeah, I couldn't recommend it more. For me, it's been a lifesaver more than one time in my life. I mean, we've all been through lots of experiences in our lives, and I have certainly, and at some of the lowest ebbs in my life, this is the thing that kept my head together.
But before we get you to give us a little something to take us off the air, I want you to take a look into that camera, take about 30 seconds, and talk to the people about getting in touch with you, and and how they can benefit them to work with you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, my thing is inspiring healthy living. I mean, if I'm going to encapsulate it in a phrase, that's my mission. And I'm driven to that mission. So if you are interested in healthy living, whatever aspect of that may be, then I'd love to talk to you. If you want to know some of the strategies that I've employed to move through my health issues and to stay healthy, I'd love to share those with you. If you have an interest in looking at an independent business opportunity, whether you want to earn an extra $500 a month or you want to earn $10,000 a month, that's something I'd love to chat with you about and see if it's a good fit. My goal with all that is just to help you. My goal with all this is to inspire you, to help you in your journey in life to be the best that you can be, to achieve your goals in life as I've been pursuing mine. And I think that's the best way I could put it.
Well, Andy, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
What are you going to play us off the air with?
Well, I've got a little jazz piece called Donna Lee that I'd like to try.
Why don't you just set that mic on your table? And while you're hooking that up, I want to remind everybody that coming up will be Gayla James will be here next after we come back from this commercial break. On the sax, Andy. We'll be right back.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello, Southwest Florida. Thanks for watching Lee Pitts Live. Of course, I'm Lee Pitts. I hope you enjoy that particular show. But you can always catch us here on YouTube. Just click on the subscribe button down there. That way you can get your Lee Pitts Live on demand when you want it and how you want it. We also encourage you to watch our show on Fox 4 and connect with us on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live.